All right, good evening. It's 7:01. I'm going to call the meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. Our first item of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Sarah, would you lead us, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, all members of the Board of Selectmen are here and present. Our first item is to turn to the approval of the September 4th, 2025 Board of Selectmen regular meeting minutes. May I have a motion?
I move to approve the September 4th, 2025 Board of Selectmen regular meeting minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion or corrections? Sarah and then Keith.
I just found on the bottom of page 2, it looks like there was supposed to be the rest of a sentence there and there isn't, about the board members asked Mr. Shaw about, and then that was it. Just like incomplete, but that's, I didn't.
So noted. We'll take a look at that.
Okay. That was all that I found.
Keith.
There's two things under executive session, number 12. On the motion to go in, it says Yagaloff was absent, but I was present for that executive session. And then under 13.
Say that again, under 12?
12.
That is correct.
Under 12. And what happened there?
He was
there.
here.
Yeah.
He should have been listed as here.
Oh, yeah,
Under,
you were here.
under 13, the adjournment, it also says Yagaloff was absent. I was here for that.
So noted. Any other corrections? On the minutes as amended, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public participation, one of two opportunities for members of the public to address the board. We will first give anybody here in the room an opportunity to do so, and then if there's anybody online who would like to address the Board of Selectmen, we'll provide them an opportunity as well. Is there anybody here in the room who would like to address the Board of Selectmen? If so, please state your name, your address, and your business. Yes, sir, you in the front row.
Paul Anderson, 88 Main Street, Broadbrook. As president of the Broadbrook Library, I want to extend my thanks for having a community center. Our event on Sunday was spectacular. The place is marvelous. And I don't think it could be better. So I'm really happy we have it. And there'll be another book signing in December.
With Mr. Sutra?
No.
Oh.
No. Total surprise.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Asking a third time? Is there anybody online who would like to address the members of the Board of Selectmen? Hearing none. Let's keep here. Okay, let's turn now to board and commission resignation and appointments. We do have a resignation.
Move to accept the resignation of Charles Nordell from the Ethics Commission.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Reappointments.
Move to reappoint Wayne Sherry as a regular member to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a term expiring October 1st, 2030.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. If there's no discussion, I'll call for a vote.
I have a question, Jason. So I tried to, the first three here have expirations in 2030. And I went to try to see if I could spot, but that seems like a long time out. That's like 5 years out. And I wanted to see if I could spot the ordinance or the charter that says it's 5 years. And I saw we have an ordinance for alternate members for planning and zoning, which says 5 years.
This is an alternate position.
It says a regular member.
Yeah, that was in error. The appointment is for alternate position.
Oh, did I not hear read right?
It says
No, I didn't.
alternate member, and he's under here to be appointed to
Yeah.
2030.
I have the note here that I was supposed to introduce, and that's my correction. He is an alternate member of the PCC.
And then the other ones, I'm just gonna ask now, maybe we can get to them at the time. I just didn't see where there were 5-year appointments. Did somebody match it up to make sure the appointment period is right?
Melissa, do you know if Jennifer confirmed that with the town clerk?
She does.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll amend my motion then to alternate member.
thank you. Will you amend your second?
Second, amend that motion.
Any further discussion on the appointment of Mr. Sherry as an alternate member of the Planning and Zoning Commission?
I just want to thank him for stepping forward again as an alternate. I know sometimes it gets aggravating that you're an alternate and you really can't do any input, but just sit there and listen. But in the event that you don't have to sit there and just listen, at least you'll be prepared, and I think it's good experience for other things on the road for you too, so.
It's bad you get to ask questions too.
Huh?
You get to ask questions too.
Yes.
She does.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right?
Opposed? Ruth Ann Lansner as a member of the Park and Rec Commission.
Move to reappoint Ruth Ann Lansner as a regular member to the Parks and Recreation Commission for a term expiring October 1st, 2030.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion?
Just like to thank her for stepping forward again as well.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And Mr. Anderson as a member of the Water Pollution Control Authority for a term expiring October 1st, 2030. Is there a motion?
I move to reappoint Paul Anderson to the Water Pollution Control Authority as a regular member for a term expiring October 1st, 2030.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm sorry.
You want to go ladies first? Marie and then Keith.
okay.
I just want to say thank you. I haven't been able to attend the meetings like I was, but the meetings that I have attended over the last 5 years or so as a liaison. I find him to be very knowledgeable down there. Not only does he pay attention to what's happening in East Windsor, but often he will bring in documentation from other towns and newspaper articles of what other towns have done and what they've run into with issues to try to head off anything that's happening down at our water pollution control area. So I thank you for re-upping again, because you had the experience that a lot of the other people on there are just learning, and you can help bring them along. So thank you.
All in favor? Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so, I try to do my due diligence for all of these and I wanted to raise a few, concerns and, first I want to say that, Paul brings enormous wealth of experience and knowledge is very important in that position. But to be fair to the public, I want to raise some concerns. One of the concerns, I have three. One of the concerns is that a member of the public has been going to the WPCA meetings regularly. It's in the minutes. And complaining that they're going to executive session without proper reasons, that public input is not being allowed at the WPCA meetings to the extent it should be. And I went through all the meeting minutes for the last 2 years, and it hasn't been addressed by the WPCA, and that's a concern for me, because I think, if a member of the public consistently goes to the meetings, and this is I would call a very distinguished member of the public, not anyone who's controversial, is saying that there's problems there. The second issue,
Excuse me, just, that's gotta be since I stopped, because nobody ever came to any of the meetings that I attended. So this past year, that has to be when whoever that individual is.
it's in at least 3 of the meeting minutes from January to present,
Yeah.
maybe 4.
Yeah.
Okay. And the second issue is that, there's a major spill in the Connecticut River. We're not going to get into the issues, but $1 million was spent by the WPCA, and there's been no public discussion at all about anything, about why the $1 million was spent. And I understand it's potential litigation, but, I've had constituents ask me, Keith, what was the $1 million spent on? And what's going on? And I don't have an answer because there's no minutes. It hasn't been discussed publicly at all. I find that to be a problem. But the third issue I think concerns this board, and I want to be careful here because we've had several executive sessions.
I want
I'm
to
not
call
gonna,
it point of order because we're here to put people on board and commissions, not to take it to the realm and think in which it's going to go. So I just want to caution, be careful what you say, because
well, let me explain why why I'm making these points is because we're appointing a member to the commission. And the member is, the chair of the commission, and we have to make a decision, all of us, as to whether we're gonna reappoint this person. So discussing whether or not, I'm not doing anything personal about any of this. I'm discussing issues. And the third issue was that, and I'm not gonna be careful because we've had executive sessions, but this board knows, and I can say this because this is not confidential information. This board has been waiting for a response from Mr. Anderson for more than 8 months. And we've convened several executive sessions waiting for a response. And taxpayers are being taxed at more than $50,000 a year, where they shouldn't. I mean, I'm sorry, it's a $50,000 a year more expense to taxpayers. And we've asked for a response. It hasn't come. And it's quite frustrating to be sitting on a board.
From water pollution control.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, that, yeah, I know.
Yeah, to be sitting on a board and waiting for a response and convening meetings and not having any response at all. And wondering whether or not Mr. Anderson apparently he's the one supposed to give us a response, just simply doesn't want to respond to us. It's costing taxpayers a lot of money. And so concerned about that. And so I'm trying to decide how I want to vote because I don't want to vote to have this all continue. And I don't know, I don't want to say no because Mr. Anderson has all this experience, but it's quite frustrating that we have, for example, not getting any response at all, even though we've asked for it. So we can't do our job as a board and it's costing taxpayers a lot of money. Anyway, that's my concerns.
All right, any other comments on the appointment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries 3-1. If I were casting the vote, I would vote yes.
So will you follow up as a selectman on that issue with Paul?
I certainly can.
Thank you.
Okay, new appointment. We have 6. Five of them are appointments to the Charter Revision Commission. One is a member of the Inland Wetlands Watercourse Agency.
Move to appoint Austin Holden as a regular member to the Charter Revision Commission for a term expiring March 18th, 2027.
Is there a second?
Second?
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion?
I'd like to thank Mr. Holden for stepping forward. I think he'll be a great member of this commission.
I do too, and I share that. Thanks. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
To appoint Daniel Starvish as a regular member to the Charter Revision Commission for a term expiring March 18th, 2027.
Second?
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion?
Also really glad to see him step forward.
I'm not sure who Dan Starvish is. I know Starvish's name. I
Yeah,
know-
involved with the Ambulance Association and has been with Warehouse Point Fire Department.
Okay, so that's where I know the name. Okay, is he Prospect Hill?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure who I was voting on. I don't have an issue.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Charles Nordell.
Go
ahead.
I'll make a motion to appoint Charles Nordell to the Charter Revision Commission as a regular member for a term expiring March 18, 2027.
Is there a second?
Second?
Still lagging, huh?
Zoom.
Any discussion?
I just want to make a comment. 3 of the next 4, the first 2 all have phone numbers for all of they're properly filled out. And I don't care about the address necessarily for references, but they have phone numbers for all the references. I assume that we can call a reference if we want. We're voting on these people if we wanted. I've never done it, but I know these people that are references. But 3 of the next 4 are incomplete in terms of no phone numbers at all for references. And some of these people, I wouldn't know how to reach them.
You know how to reach me. I'm right
I
here.
do.
You know where to find the fire chief.
I know I could do it, but they should be complete. Okay, that's all I had to say. I know we've been sticklers, Marie particularly been sticklers that these things should be always filled out properly. Maybe
I
in
don't agree with you.
yeah.
Motion has been made and seconded on the appointment of Mr. Nordell. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Mr. Burnham?
Make a motion to appoint Tom Burnham to the Charter Revision Commission, regular member, term expiring March 18, 2027.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Platt?
I'll make a motion that we appoint Tom Platt to Charter Revision Commission as regular member for a term expiring March 18, 2027.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. David Swaim as a member of the Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Agency.
Make a motion to appoint David Flame to the Inland Wetlands Watercourse Agency, regular member for a term expiring December 19, 2026.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Jason, just so the public will know, we have, it sounds like, I think we have 5
Correct.
appointments, so there's openings for 2 more.
Yes.
So anyone that wants to join the Charter Revision Commission, there's 2 openings.
Yeah, we've done an email blast announcing that and all other board and commission vacancies, and we're communicating the opportunity to both party chairs. Okay, let's turn now to a discussion with Titan Energy. I'll introduce this by just kind of pointing out that the way we purchase electricity supply for the town, we do it as part of an auction. It's a 4-year or 5-year auction that's coming up at the end of the year. So working through CCM and Titan, who has been our procurement person for several cycles, we're getting to the point in time where we need to start thinking about that and what that might look like. Len is here if we have questions, but I want to introduce Brendan Kearney, who is with Titan and can tell us what's happening in the energy market.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Good evening.
Great. Yeah, so I'm Brendan Carney from Titan Energy. We were competitively selected to be the consultant for the CCM Energy Program. We currently facilitate RFPs for electricity supply for over half the municipalities in the state. And the current agreement for East Windsor expires this December, so we have about 2 months to secure a new fixed price agreement before that current one expires. And fortunately, we're in a decent enough energy market, as we talked about last week. And it's a relatively good time to buy energy and to lock in before the winter, which is typically the most volatile time of the year to purchase energy. So we do have a LOA that was signed so that we can start the process, and I expect to have the initial results of that RFP in the next week or so. At which point I will present those findings to Jason and whoever else it would need to go to. I would say, as we talked in our meeting, I met last week with Jason and a couple other folks. We are in a higher market than your current deal. Your current deal that's expiring is about 8.5 cents. And I warned that we should probably be expecting about a 10-cent price. That's about what we've seen across the board for comparable municipalities over the last year. So that's about 1.5 cents increase. And we currently have you guys at about 2 million kilowatt hours. So for your budget, obviously the numbers aren't official yet until I get the results, but we would expect to see that, 15-20% increase in supply price.
How about on the delivery side?
Yeah, so on the delivery side, there is some good news. We actually were just working on a budget for another town in the state, and the public benefits charge, which has been, very highly contested or debated in the state, they've pulled back some of those line items that make up the public benefits charge to the tune of about 2 cents a kilowatt hour. So that in that instance, you take 2 million and multiply it by 2 cents. I'm not a mathematician. If I had my calculator in front of me, I can get you that number. But that will be a reduction in your delivery fees. We don't see any notable increases from the utility on any of their delivery line items, but we do have that roughly 2 cent decrease in the public benefits charge. Those line items will be bonded moving forward, and that will certainly that 2 cent increase will probably outweigh the 1.5 or yeah, let's say 1.5 cent increase on the supply. So all things equal, the budget will probably be very close to what it is this last fiscal year.
That's excellent.
2 cents down, 1.5 cents up. So
So
hopefully.
can you walk folks through what the process is here? Because my recollection is that 4 years ago, I had to be like very available for about a 2 hour span of time to sign a document exactly when you told me to.
Yeah. So what we do is we have all the accounts that are under East Windsor's management or ownership. And with the LOA, it's a letter of authorization, the document I had you sign last week when I visited, that allows us to go to the utility and get the interval data for every account. The interval data just means more detailed usage profiles, so we can see the minute by minute usage of every account. That, big Excel spreadsheet of information to our supply base, which is roughly a dozen or so suppliers. And they take that, put it into their internal models, and I'll spit out their lowest and best prices across many different terms. You can look from 1 to really 5 years, you can lock in for. We send it to them and they all know that it is essentially a bid. It is a low price bid. All the suppliers' contracts have been vetted by ourselves and CCM, so we know that it really is an apples to apples comparison, and we're really just comparing price. So once we get those results, I will internally, look through them and then make a recommendation. That recommendation will really come down to how long of a fixed price agreement we think you should sign. And like I said, anywhere from 1 to 5 years. The standard this year across the municipalities we've worked with has really been 36 months. But I won't speak to what I recommend until I have the results. So we get those results from the supplier. I send them to you and along with my recommendations and thoughts. And then from there, we contract. The pricing I send is only good for the day it's provided, which may have been why I felt like a fire drill a little bit last time. But that said, I could send it on a Tuesday, and if it took a week or so for it to go through the proper channels at East Windsor, that following, let's say 6, 7 days later, I wouldn't anticipate the price really moving very much, apart from a catastrophic geopolitical or weather event. Pricing really moves very minutely day to day, up and down. It can go in both directions. So I will try to give you a heads up on the day that the bid will be complete so that you are prepared to receive those results. And then along with my recommendations, and then from there we would just probably set up another meeting to discuss and get a feel for what you guys are comfortable with, and what we think is a good suggestion. And then if everyone's in agreement, we prepare a contract to be signed.
Uh, so I think, did you change the sequencing of events there towards the end?
No,
So the bid's gonna come due, you're gonna review it, make a recommendation, and then we're gonna have, when you say another meeting, are you talking about a staff level meeting, or are you talking about with the board?
yeah, no. So that would come down to your guys. We don't even have to have a meeting, quite frankly. I could send you an email with the results and my recommendation. And if you say, and I don't know how your guys' internal policies of signing contracts go, but essentially I could send that to you and you could say, okay, good to go, 36 months, send me the contract, and I could send it. Sometimes people want to hop on a call to talk through it or in person, or they have requirements like this where you have to, present in front of town council. Um, but it's really up to your own internal policies and procedures.
Okay. Questions or comments? Marie?
Well, I guess my question is, Viv, are they working off a list of buildings?
Yeah.
Um,
They have all of our electrical accounts. So that's where he got the 2 million megawatts of usage a year. That's this building, the Broadbrook Fire Department, Public Works. It's now the community center, police department, WPCA, the schools, everything.
I would be happy to share that spreadsheet with you guys just to make sure if you wanted to cross-reference and make sure everything's accounted for.
Hang on one second. Let's give you, you're talking about doing it now?
Oh, I don't have it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, but I could have it to you first thing tomorrow morning. Or even shortly if I email my market support.
Jason put in the building that I was concerned that might have not been on the list. So,
It's everything that we have electrical accounts for.
Yeah, tomorrow morning I'll send you, Jason, I'll send you the spreadsheet, which is the account list. And if you want to pass that around to make sure, all the accounts are accounted for, I'm happy to do so.
Okay, thank you. Kate,
Brendan, I had a question that concerns the length of the contract for us. And in the past, we would always be wondering, are there going to be decreases or in the price of electricity instead of locking in at a rate because of alternative energy or other reasons? But it seems that the future issue is going to be AI data centers
Oh, yeah.
and so, and I don't know if the public knows, like one AI data center right now, when it's built, is going to use all the electricity equivalent to like the country of Germany. And they're building nuclear power plants. Amazon, for example, is building nuclear power plants to provide electricity for these data centers. And there's a lot of them going up around the country. So, Brendan, the problem is going to be, and you said, oh yeah, and the problem is going to be that these data centers have the potential to be the largest energy user in the entire country in potentially only a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, because they're putting in nearly $1 trillion a year into these things, and you're shaking your head, yes, the people that don't know it. So doesn't it make sense for us to lock into the longest contract possible because we're going to get whacked with competition for electricity in the future, or is that not the reason? You're the expert. That's why I'm trying to ask you.
Yeah, no.
Is that what's going to happen?
That is our prognosis. So it's a kind of a double-edged sword in that we do expect tremendous increase in demand across the nation. Not necessarily in Connecticut too much because our energy prices are high. They tend to try to build these massive data centers in areas with cheaper energy. Although, as you said, modular nuclear and they're turning on old power plants just to power the data centers. But long story short, the AI and data center associated data centers are going to dramatically increase the demand of our electricity demand in America. We had kind of flatlined in terms of demand as efficiency became more prevalent and on-site generation, so solar on your roof, more efficient light bulbs. We kind of saw the demand curve really flatten out. Now we expect it to really skyrocket up, and that's bad on its own. But secondly, the supply portion where we get I was talking about this last week with the folks there. A major fuel we use to generate electricity in the Northeast is natural gas, and specifically liquefied natural gas, which is essentially frozen natural gas that is shipped to import facilities here in the Northeast. We use that for electricity generation as well as obviously our heating load in the winter. So 2022, when Russia invades Ukraine, much of Europe and elsewhere decides to no longer purchase the cheap gas they were getting from Russia. They didn't have an alternative. There's not a lot of alternatives, I should say. But one of the main ones they have been utilizing in signing long-term contracts, like multi-decade contracts, is with American natural gas producers. So what we're seeing here is tremendous increase in demand and a much tighter supply. So it is a little concerning long term what the prices will be, especially here in the Northeast where we depend heavily on the natural gas. And that said, just like the AI data centers, we're seeing a lot of liquefied natural gas export facilities and import facilities out in Europe coming online over the next 10 years, one after another, after another, after another. In 5, 10 years, we will be doubling our exports of natural gas, which is good for the producers. But as, essentially it's more competition for us where we have to get our energy from. Especially here in the Northeast where we depend on that liquefied natural gas, which is already more expensive as is, because obviously, you stick a pipe and it goes right to you. That's better than freezing it. This is an intensive process to freeze the gas, ship it up, ship it transcontinentally, and then reheat it and so on. So yes, our long-term outlook is concerning in terms of price, and they're very. I definitely would lean towards a longer-term deal. Like I said, 36 months is kind of where a lot of people have landed, mostly because of concerns of just some organizations don't like locking in something for much longer than that. But yes, that you explained it perfectly. That demand is going to increase mightily, and supply is going to be thinner than ever. Especially a lot of it will come down to weather. If we have very cold winters, the price for electricity and natural gas can skyrocket very quickly.
So it sounds to me like, I appreciate the answer and expanding on it. Just if we were gonna, prices are not gonna come down over the next 5 years. And it can, and if, at least what we're talking about, and if we can get a 5-year contract and we're willing to do that, it makes sense, I think, depending upon the cost. Because, prices within 5 years could be, I'm not gonna say double, but who knows? And then the other thing I was gonna say, if you comment on it, is that now's the time, it seems that municipalities like us really need to start looking at our energy utilization if we haven't done it before, in terms of anything to reduce energy consumption, and make ourselves more efficient, because we're gonna get whacked with huge energy increases coming up in, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5, after this contract that we enter
Right.
in, right?
Yes, and I should point out to you guys something that came across this week from EverSource. There's a new enhanced incentive program for what they call micro municipalities. I don't know what the name micro municipality means, but I did see that East Windsor is on that list. And essentially, it is increased incentives as it pertains to efficiency, and that's both in terms of lighting, mechanical, honestly, switching fuel sources. And I could provide some of that literature to you guys to show you some of that, because it is going to take, long term. We have an adage at Titan that we've used for the whole time I've been here, which is the only guaranteed way to save on energy is to use less. And otherwise, you're just rolling with the swings of volatility of a market that's extremely volatile, more than ever. And so yeah, I can share some of that information with you guys, um, to suggest that you do maybe go through some of your facilities and see if there's some low-hanging fruit or some more substantial projects, both in terms of lighting, mechanical, um, et cetera, because you do have increased incentive programs from the utility. It just came out Tuesday, so I haven't really had a lot of time to digest it, but I would recommend at least looking into that.
Len, we completed that not that long ago, right?
Right, you guys did like an LED lighting
LED,
retrofit.
Yeah, that,
Well, I mean, there may be other things.
Other envelope stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion of making
windows here.
certain mechanical processes more smart. So instead of a big fan that turns on either full, 100 miles an hour or zero, one that can slowly turn on 20%, 40%, so that it doesn't do that huge electricity draw on demand. Um, but that's just one example. And Titan Energy through CCM does offer some of these services that we'd be happy to talk about.
Other questions or comments? So, Len, do you have anything you want to add?
So,
All right, so Brendan, I guess the upshot is we'll stay in touch over the next couple of weeks.
Definitely.
Okay, thanks very much for being here. Appreciate your
Thank
time.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Have a great night.
Okay, I'm gonna ask that we table agenda items 7B through D until after executive session.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
I
Opposed? Which brings us to tax refunds.
move to approve the tax refunds totaling $1,956.47.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, selectmen's reports. So first of all, I want to offer congratulations to the faculty and staff at the East Windsor Public Schools. Our district was recently recognized by state officials for its significant growth in student proficiency scores, making us one of only 3 districts in the state to earn such a distinction. If you have been driving through Broadbrook, you'll likely notice the construction crews are at work on our new sidewalk project, which is bringing either new or replacement sidewalks to sections of Depot Street, Perry Lane, Reservoir Avenue, Windsorville Road, and Main Street. By the time it's complete, nearly 2 miles of sidewalks in the village will be either updated or expanded. The town has released a bid for the expansion of public water into the School Hill and Park Hill neighborhoods, with responses due back on the 29th. This project has been the result of a collaboration among the EPA, DPH, DECD, DOT, Connecticut Water, town staff, and our legislative delegation, which is an awful lot of red tape to cut through in order to make a reality, so that we're at the point coming up at the end of this month where we'll be able to award the project out is really, that was a lot of work. On September 9th, our emergency management partners joined a statewide tabletop drill for emergency preparedness. Looking ahead, we will host a full-scale live action drill with all of our local emergency services partners in November at a date still to be determined. These exercises ensure that East Windsor is ready to respond when a crisis happens. Last year, we did an active shooter event at East Windsor Middle School. We did a toxic chemicals spill in one of the science rooms, and we did a stolen car with armed suspects insert as the third one. So we'll be doing something similar again in November. It was a really fantastic display of what emergency services can do when it gets hairy. On September 10th, town staff and I visited the town of Windsor to learn more about TIF, which is a tool for promoting economic development and reinvestment. TIF has been used successfully in communities around Connecticut, including Cheshire, Meriden, Suffield, and most notably in Windsor Locks with the Montgomery Mill Building. On the 13th, I was honored to serve as Grand Marshal of the Four-Town Fair Parade, and I want to thank Marie and Sarah for joining alongside as my daughter and I threw out candy throughout the parade route. It was a great turnout. It was a lot of fun, and it was better having you guys there. The following day, Selectman Muska and I joined the ribbon cutting for the new East Windsor Community Funeral Home. And later on that afternoon, I did have the opportunity to attend the book signing for Mr. Sutra about his time teaching in East Windsor Public Schools. Many thanks to the Broadbrook Library for hosting that event. It was really cool. Coming up on September 20th, Connecticut's, which is just Saturday, Connecticut's Kid Governor will be at the Warehouse Point Library to discuss his platform of speaking up for safe and happy schools. That's going to be from 11:30 to 12:30. That'll be something worth going to. And on the 27th, the town will host our fall bulk waste drop-off event from 7:30 to 11:30 at USA Hauling on Shulm Road. That's open to all residents, and a list of acceptable materials is available on the Public Works website. Finally, I want to share some sad news that longtime police dispatcher Betty Ann Sheridan has passed away. Betty served our community with distinction as both a dispatcher and a member of the Police Commission. And she will be remembered fondly with calling hours for her wake this Sunday from 2 to 5 and a funeral on Monday at 9:30 right next door at St. Catherine's. That's all I have. Marie.
Just 2 events that are coming. October 4th, you have the Historical Society having their ice cream social again this year. So if you haven't done that, that's always a good opportunity to go in and look at the history and go in all the buildings that you normally wouldn't have gone in. And on the same day, the BMX bike park is having a fundraiser display at the, what do you call that?
Skate park?
Skate park, thank you, at the skate park. So just throw that out there. That's all I got.
All right. Al,
Just a reminder that the Planning and Zoning Commission has the public hearing for the Bridge Street apartments that are up for, their application is up. They continued that hearing. There wasn't really any public input on the first one, and the commission continued it because they had some outstanding questions that they wanted to hear back on. So that will potentially conclude at their next meeting.
Sarah.
Nothing really to add. Everything's been covered. Thanks.
I'm all set tonight, thanks.
All right. We're going to turn that to our second public participation. Same rules as before. I'll first ask if there's anybody in the room who would like to address the board and then provide anybody with us online with the same opportunity. Is there anybody online, in the room who would like to address the Board of Selectmen? Yes, sir. Name and address.
Paul Anderson, 89 Main Street. We have an election coming up. A number of months ago, and I don't know how far back, I suggested that there be a written policy on elected officials and social media. I think it should be done before the election. Get a bunch of new people. We want to make sure they understand how to do their job the best they can. So, I don't know how you do it, but I think it ought to be done.
I don't think you can. It's a First Amendment concern. But certainly there are ways people should act.
Gee, I hope so.
Any other public comment? Yes, ma'am. Name and address, please.
First, Sherry Depot Street. I want to thank you for giving me tour.
That was fun.
Community center is really nice.
Glad you're able to see it.
Yeah, and I hope they can get that silver sneaker. That would be good. And also now we have 4 people volunteering at the library. So it's growing.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Stop in.
I will.
Yeah, well.
Is there other public participation? Yes, sir. Name and address, please. Then I got Charlie in the back.
Kings Court, Rybrook. Curious question, that's September 20th at the library?
Yes.
Can anybody be there?
Yep. It's a public event.
Public? Okay, just want to make sure.
Mr. Nordell.
Probably Nordell, 7 Refuge Terrace. The reason I didn't put my phone numbers on the application was because I thought that was distributed to everyone. I wasn't aware that only you people got that application. And as far as I'm concerned, your phone numbers, and anyone I put as a reference shouldn't be posted to the entire public. My phone number is posted on there, so anyone could have called me and asked for the phone number of any one of my references. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there other public comment? Is there anybody online who would like to address the board? Hearing none, I'd ask for a motion to go into executive session to include Attorney Fain and Melissa LaBelle.
Move that we go into executive session.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're in executive session at 7:44. It's 8:39. We're out of executive session. We'll turn now to the call of the agenda and take up agenda item 7B. Discuss and vote on the settlement agreement between the town and Newberry Group.
We're gonna see if Melissa's still out there, see if she wants to.
Selectman Baker.
Make a motion to authorize the first selectman to sign the settlement agreement entered into between the town of East Windsor and Newberry Group LLC.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Agenda item 7C, discuss and vote on the employment agreement between the town and Melissa LaBelle.
Make a motion that we authorize the first selectman to sign the employment agreement between the town of East Windsor and Melissa LaBelle.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Agenda item 7D.
Make a motion that we authorize the first selectman to sign the employment agreement between the town of East Windsor and Jennifer Sanchez.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No further business to come before the Board of Selectmen. A motion to adjourn would be in order.
Move that we adjourn at 8:40 PM.
Is there a
Oh,
second?
you would have been.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 8:40 PM.